So in just a short time frame, 200 potential jurors must be whittled down to a dozen as we near the opening arguments in the trial of Aaron Dean.
The jury selection moved forward yesterday after the death of one of Dean's attorneys called that timeline into question. Dean is charged with shooting and killing Atatiana Jefferson during a welfare check in 2019. Since then, that trial has been delayed several times for various reasons.
Chris Sadeghi live this morning. Chris, the jury selection is tough, seeing that this is such a high-profile case.
Yes, Kara, the process of finding an impartial jury for this case that has received so much media attention could take all week. Despite the death of Aaron Dean's lead attorney, Jim Lane, prosecution and defense got started Monday with trying to whittle a jury pool of 200 people down to 12 jurors and 2 alternates. Each of those jurors filled out a 25-page questionnaire. Their answers will help the two sides determine whether or not they can sit on a fair jury in a trial for a former police officer. Of the 200 summoned, about half told the judge that they have seen or read about this case. Aaron Dean is the former Fort Worth police officer charged with the murder and the death of Atatiana Jefferson. Protest, media coverage, and 3 years worth of delays are why his defense team says he cannot get a fair trial in Tarrant County, and they've again requested a change of venue, but so far the judge has not granted that motion or any of the others to move the trial. The judge hopes to have a jury seated by Monday to begin testimony. However, he also said that if they're not able to find 12 from this pool of 200 summons, that they could summon another 200 to find those 12 impartial jurors. William Joy has more on how we got to this point in this case.
It's been 1,143 days since the home on East Allen Avenue was wrapped in crime scene tape.
Open the gate.
And since James Smith asked police to check on his neighbor.
They're usually home, but they never had both of the front doors open.
Aaron Dean.
It's been 1,143 days since Officer Aaron Dean killed Atatiana Jefferson.
Put your hands up! Show me your hands!
Monday, the trial for the former Fort Worth police officer is set to begin. Jefferson's neighbor, James Smith, called a non-emergency line asking police to make sure his neighbor was okay. Officer Aaron Dean arrived at the home at 2:29. Inside, Jefferson was playing video games with her 8-year-old nephew, Zion. Court documents say Jefferson heard someone creeping in her backyard, grabbed her gun, and opened the blinds.
Put your hands up! Show me your hands!
The single shot Dean fired killed Jefferson.
5 shots fired, sorry, supervisor.
People say, well, James, it's not your fault. You're not your fault. But I made a call.
Nobody looked at that video and said there's any doubt that this officer acted inappropriately.
2 days after the killing,
at approximately 6 p.m., Aaron Dean was arrested for the murder of Miss Jefferson.
No comment.
Jefferson was the 6th person Fort Worth police killed in a 5-month span of 2019.
But I'm here to let you know your city is hurting.
Frustrated and frightened community members filled council meetings.
No justice, no peace!
And filled streets. Now we're a day away from the trial that's been more than 2 years in the making.
I certainly have not been able to make sense of why she had to lose her life.
1,143 days after James Smith was worried about his neighbor. 1,143 days.
There's no erasing that.
Since Atatiana Jefferson's family saw her for the last time. In Fort Worth, I'm William Joy.
Our WFAA team is following this trial from start to finish. For any updates in the case, you can check out our website, WFAA.com, WFAA Plus, and our WFAA YouTube channel as well.